I'm going to show you a really delicious raw version of the spicy Thai soup called Tom Yum. Now, in traditional Tom Yum, they don't necessarily use coconuts, but as you probably know by now, I love using Thai coconuts. This is a Thai drinking coconut. It's available in Australia in most supermarkets and Asian stores. They're not difficult to find. Highly nutritious, got the perfect balance of electrolytes. So we're going to use two of these, water and flesh. So to open a coconut, if you've got a heavy cleaver, that's the easiest way. I'll just give it 4 blows. You may get a little bit splashed. And empty that straight into your power blender. And the same with the second one. In it goes. So that's the base of the soup. If you don't have coconuts, feel free to use water. The coconuts just does add a lovely consistency and flavour to it. So to split this open to get to the flesh, just bang it down the middle like that. And you can see these are quite immature. They've got a very soft flesh. I really like that. Sometimes it's much thicker and harder. This is going to be quite easy to get out. I'm going to give them a quick rinse first before I scrape out the flesh. So it's just a matter of getting yourself a spoon. And scraping the flesh out. If the flesh is tough, you may want to use the back of the spoon to get in there to get a bit more leverage. But this is quite soft flesh, so I can just easily scoop it out. I make sure I get off any little tough woody bits. Not all the brown bits in the coconut are tough, but you're just trying to avoid any hunks of wood going into the soup. So I think I'm only going to use the flesh from maybe 1.5 coconuts. I don't want the soup too thick. So we'll get a little bit more out. If I want to add more, I can. The other thing is, if you're not using a coconut and you do want to thicken the soup up a bit, the trick really is to use a little bit of avocado. It's the perfect way to thicken up a soup or a sauce in raw food recipes without having to resort to something harmful. All right, so I'm just going to give that a blend that flesh through. Beautiful. All right, so I've got the juice of half a lime. So we really want to get those Thai flavours, so lime is a big one. You can also use lemongrass in this, fresh lemongrass. If you've got a power blender like the Power Mill, you just use about 1 inch of lemongrass in this recipe. Absolutely beautiful. I wasn't able to get any at the farmer's market this week, so I'm not going to be putting any in. It's still going to be fantastic, so I'm not worried. We've got some wheat-free organic tamari soy sauce. Now I've got some garlic. This is a Russian garlic, and what I'm going to do is just cut the core out of it because I'm quite allergic to garlic, and I find if I cut this woody core out of the middle, I don't have the same allergic reaction, and I can enjoy the beautiful flavour that garlic brings and the health benefits too. So if you are allergic, remember to cut the core out. The other thing is Russian garlic is a fair bit milder than the smaller versions of garlic. I've got some kelp powder. Now in traditional Tom Yum soup, they put in fish sauce. To get a little bit of fishiness, kelp powder, also the highest source of minerals from any food you'll find in the health food shop. 84 minerals in kelp. Of course, we have some kaffir lime leaves. Now you can buy these fresh and freeze them. They'll keep for months in the freezer. And I'm putting in 3 or 4 of those. A little bit of ginger. And of course, a little chili. Now this is hot, so really you have to be a little bit careful, probably safer to add a little bit at a time. I'm going to add a whole 1 seeds and all. And I'm going to add a little bit of coriander. I'm going to put some coriander aside for garnishing, and I'll blend some in as well for flavour. So that's the basic recipe. So I'm just going to give that a try. With all recipes, if you're using whole fresh foods, they're not going to taste the same every time. You know, an onion doesn't always taste the same as another onion. A lime or a lemon can taste different. So it's really important to use your taste buds. Don't just blindly follow recipes. Wow, that's magnificent. It's got a kick too. That tiny little chili is hot. All right, so very, very reminiscent of traditional cooked tom yum soup, but it's raw. All right, so we've got some other ingredients, but I'm going to add them just chopped. So we'll add our tom yum soup to a bowl. Now you can serve this cold, but don't be scared to heat it up. You know, warm it to 45 degrees, so when you put your finger in, it still feels comfortable. It's a beautiful warming soup. So it's just a matter of cutting up some cherry tomatoes. If you want, you can add some noodles to it. So by all means, add some Kelp Noodles, a beautiful raw, vegan, low-fat, low-carb noodle. You can also add noodles that you've made yourself in a spiruli or spiralizer, which is like a noodle making machine. So if you want, you can take all the white bits out. I personally am not going to worry about that. I'm just going to cut the capsicum into long strips and then in half again. Add some lovely colour to the soup. Okay, so last but not least, we'll garnish with our coriander or cilantro, depending on what part of the world you come from. And there we have it, a spicy, delicious, raw, highly nutritious tom yum soup. Now, we're going to add noodles to this as well, and with the kelp noodles in particular, this is sensational.